Options trading doesn't have to be complicated, risky, or stressful. If you're a beginner looking for a low-stress, simple, easy-to-execute option strategy, this video is perfect for you. I'm Mike Bellafiore, and we're one of the top proprietary trading firms located in New York City since 2005, and proud to develop number 7 and even 8-figure per year traders. Watch, take notes, and learn from a professional trader on our desk so you can grow your trading account.
Hi, I'm Seth Freudberg, and I'm the head trader of S&B Capital's options trading desk here in Manhattan. And I've been trading options and teaching options trading for over 18 years. And invariably, people who are interested in trading options have this initial impression that options are complicated to understand and trade. But in fact, if you know just a few simple principles, they're not only easy to understand, but as we're about to show you in this video, they're even easier to trade. And that's because options provide what virtually no other trading vehicle can deliver. And that is for you to be able to control the mathematical probability that you're going to win a trade. That's in your control and no one else's. Once you understand a few simple principles that we're going to be teaching you in this video. Now, before we get into the strategy we'll be teaching you in today's video, if you're absolutely brand new to options trading and you don't know much about how options work, we've put together a video for you to understand options basics. And if you click the video appearing now on your screen, it will lay out the groundwork for you to understand the strategy that we're going to be sharing with you in this video. Then when you're finished, you can come back and watch the rest of the video. If you're just a beginner options trader, I'd like to teach you one of the most comfortable and easy to implement options trades right now, which is actually the first strategy that I learned myself 18 years ago, and I found it immediately easy to understand and attractive to trade. And so let's go back about a year to the third Friday in June of 2023. And the reason we picked the third Friday of the month, which in this case happened to be Friday, June 16th, is that traditionally options chains only expired once a month on the third Friday of each month. And while they're much more frequent than that these days, the third Friday options chains are still very popular, and more importantly, they're published months ahead of time. And as you'll see, that's perfect for what we're going to be teaching you today. Okay, so let's go back to that day, June 16th of 2023. And as you can see, the Russell 2000 index, which is the most watched index of small cap stocks, and it trades under the ticker symbol RUT, opened up that day at 1898.54. And so we're going to pull up an options chain that expires a few months later on the third Friday in August. And as we mentioned, that one is going to be available for sure. And so we can reliably trade this strategy using those third Friday options chains several months into the future. Okay, so you'll notice that there is a column called Delta that you'll see on any brokerage platform that supports options trading. And so we're going to look for the call option, which is about 10 deltas, which in this case is the 2100 call option. And we're going to sell one of those for a price of $6.15. And we're going to go simultaneously and buy one of the 2150 options, which is located 50 points higher on the options chain. And we're going to pay $3.35 for that one. And then we'll move down to that put side, and we'll notice that the 10 delta option on the put side is the 1690 put, and we're going to go ahead and sell one of those for $10.40 while simultaneously buying the put 50 points lower than that, the 1640 put, and we're going to buy that one for $7.35. And so what we've just done, selling a call at a strike price higher than a put, we've also sold, and then surrounding them by a long call above the short call and a long put below the short put. That entire combination is what options traders refer to as an iron condor. And it's a very attractive trade, as you're going to understand in a minute. And so to explain what's going on here and why we picked the 10 delta option to sell on both the call and put side, we need to explain to you that what's known as an options delta is a mathematically arrived at prediction of how much an options price is likely to move based upon how much the stock price moves. And while it's a bit of a complicated topic, suffice to say that an options delta has also been found to be highly correlated to the probability that an option will expire with value on the day that it does expire. And remember, a call option on an index only has value on expiration day if the index price closes above the call strike price, in which case it would make a payoff to the one who bought the call. And so what the options chain is telling us is that the RUT index has about a 10% chance of expiring above 2100 on the day the option expires, and therefore logically has a 90% chance of expiring with no value on the day it expires, meaning the index is 90% likely to expire below 2100 on August 18th, according to the options market. And therefore, obviously, the call option 50 points above that is even less likely to expire with any value on that same date. And the same goes for the put side. On the put side of the trade, since we sold the 10 delta put, that indicates that the Russell 2000 index has only a 10% chance of closing below 1690 on the day the options expire. And so it's even less likely that the 1640 long put will expire with any value on expiration day similarly. And so if you think about it, the chance of all four options expiring worthless is actually 20% on August 18th. And why do I say that? Well, if the short calls are located at 10 deltas and the long ones are farther away from the market price of the index, then the index is more likely to rally to the short call than to the long call, because it would take a much bigger move for the market to reach the long call. So if the chance of the market closing above the short calls is 10%, and obviously an even lower chance for the market to rally to the long calls, then obviously the chance of both calls expiring worthless is 10%. And the same is true on the put side. The market's only 10% likely to close below the short puts and a much smaller chance to close below the long puts. So the chance of both puts expiring worthless is also 10%. And so if you add up the chances of either of those things happening, it becomes a 20% probability, which means that there's an 80% probability that neither of these things will happen, meaning that there's an 80% chance of all of the options expiring worthless. Now, why would we want all of these options to expire worthless? That doesn't sound like a goal we'd want at first blush, but let's turn to the cash flow of entering an iron condor, and you'll see why that's exactly what we want to happen. So starting with the 2100 call, we sold for $6.15. Since index options pay off at a rate of $100 per point above the option strike price, then we have to multiply the price we receive for selling that option by 100, bringing the total cash inflow from selling that call to $615. And using the same math, we pay $335 for the 2150 call, and then on the put side, we receive $1,040 for selling the 1690 put while paying back out $735 for the 1640 long put, resulting in a net cash flow of $585 that we receive initially, which incidentally you will be required by your broker to have $4,415 in capital in your trading account to enter this trade in the first place, which is also the trade's worst case scenario. And so now you can understand why we'd love for all four options to expire worthless in August, because if you think about it, if all the options expire worthless, then the trade just ends. But we were paid $585 in the beginning of the trade, and so we just get to keep that. We don't owe that to anyone. That's ours. And so that would become actually the profit on this trade as long as the indexes closes below the location of the calls and above the location of the puts, which, as we mentioned earlier, is 80% likely to happen, which is the reason that iron condors are constructed this way. And that's why this particular kind of iron condor is known as a high probability iron condor. Okay, so now let's move to July 12th. And as you can see, by late morning that day, the index had rallied to 1935.07. And so let's examine how our trade is doing on this day. And as you can see, the value of all four of the options that comprise the index have dropped when compared to their original prices. The short call is trading for $3.50 and the long call is trading for $1.50, while the short put is trading for $3.25 and the long put is trading for $2.35. They've all shrunk. And so if we wanted to actually go ahead and close this trade out at this point, the way that you do that is you just reverse the original trade. You buy back the options you sold and you sell the options you bought. And so using the current prices on July 12th, let's see how that would play out. And so starting with the initial positive cash flow of 585 that we got, we can see that buying back the short call would have cost us 350, but then we sell off the long call that we own, cashing that in for $150. Then we buy back the short put for 325 and cash in the long put for 235, resulting in a net profit on the trade of $295. And so in the iron condor world, one of the common techniques is to close the trade when the profit on the trade reaches at least 50% of the original cash flow received at trade initiation. And so you can see from the calculation, this trade meets that objective on July 12th. And so we close the trade and pocket the profit of $295 on the first trade in this campaign of iron condors that we're going to be conducting. Now, if you want to understand why the options lost value a month later, there are a number of reasons, but the most important reason is known as the time decay that happens to every option. And all that means is that as time goes by, the value of a call, which is still well above where the market's trading, and the value of a put, which is well below where the market's trading, both of these will tend to lose value over time as we get closer and closer to when they expire. Why? Well, think about it. By mid-July, we were a little more than a month out from all of the options expiring. And so since a month earlier, the index was trading at 1898 when we entered the trade, and a month later, it is only trading a small amount higher at 1935, then is the options market going to pay us as much for a call that's all the way up at 2100, which is still 165 points above where the index is trading now, with only a little over a month to go compared to how much it was worth a month earlier when we first entered the trade, and the index was trading very close to where it is today, but the index has 2 months to get there? Of course not, because there's less time for the index to hit that price of 2100, a month less, in fact. And so the likelihood of it getting there is less because there's less time, and therefore the market's not willing to pay as much for it. That deterioration in option value over time actually is the key concept in why these options income strategies work. And you're actually going to learn to love that property as you begin to learn more about options. Okay, so using the same protocol, closing the iron condor when its profit is half the cash flow originally collected, we can move on. Now, since this trade can potentially last 2 months because we'll always be executing iron condors that expire 2 months out, we can reliably execute this trade 6 times a year at the very least. And so what many traders do is to wait until the end of that second month, which in this case is August, to start the new trade so that it is reliably executed exactly 6 times a year and can be repeated year after year. And so we go to the third Friday in August, August 18th, when in the afternoon the index was at 1861.98. And so again, we'll look at an options chain 2 months out expiring in October for the 10 delta puts and calls and surround them by calls and puts a further 50 points away from the index's trading price for protection. And as you can see in this case, the 10 delta calls were the 2050s and the 10 delta puts were the 1650s. And we surround them by a long call at 2100 and a long put at 1600, just like we did in the August expiring trade. And the cash flow on this trade is, as you can see from the calculation, in this case, $667. And so your broker will require a little bit less in capital, this time $4,333. Okay, so moving ahead to September 5th, that morning, the index had pulled back to 1890.37 in the morning. And so if we take a snapshot of the trade at that point, you can see that once again, with the index trading a bit above where it was when we entered the iron condor, all 4 options again lost value for the same reason. There's less time for the index to reach the strike price of any of the options compared to when we entered the trade. Yet, the index is just about as far away from those strike prices as it was originally. And so again, there's going to be a logical decay in the value of the options. That time decay that we discussed earlier. And so when we look at the potential profit, if we were to close the trade at this point, we can see that again, closing the short options and cashing in the long options resulted in a profit of slightly above 50% of the original cash flow. And so we can move forward to our next trade and so on. And so rather than go through each trade for you for the rest of the year, to avoid being too repetitive, here's a scorecard of each of the 6 trades, each with expirations 2 months after trade initiation. And as you can see, in each of the 2-month trades, we were able to close the trade at that 50% profit on cash flow mark, which culminated in over $1,800 of profit when conservatively compared to the most capital we ever needed for any of the 6 trades, which happened to be that June trade where we needed $44.90. And so there's a couple of things that I'd like you to take away from today's video. And the first one is that when you're doing a campaign style option strategy, such as this one, to make a terrific return, you don't need to squeeze every last dollar out of each trade. You can take a more modest profit for the trade and then wait in a disciplined way for the next trade to roll around. Sometimes that attempt to grab more profit can backfire on you and the trade can go bad after having initially hit a nice profit number if you had only booked it. And more importantly, if you're just getting started trading options, it really feels comfortable to have such a wide range of prices over which you can make a profit on a trade. And so if you're forced to stay in the trade much longer, right into expiration, you can be comforted by the fact that the trade has a very high probability of success in the first place because of the low deltas of the options we're selling, and that if you were to stay in until expiration, you'd have a really good shot at the index closing somewhere above the puts and below the calls. And thus, it's a high win rate, simple strategy for the options trading beginner.
Now, if you'd like to learn 3 more option strategies that our pro traders use, including the unique options trick that allows you to make money while you wait to buy stocks or ETFs at the price you want, and the options income strategy that allows you to make consistent money whether the market goes up or down or sideways, and how to make money on a stock or index trade even if you're wrong on the direction, then click the link that's appearing right now at the top right-hand corner of your screen. That will open up the free workshop registration page in a new window. So don't worry, you won't lose this video. Or you can register directly for free at optionsclass.com.